Hello and welcome to the Understanding Narcissists YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. This episode is going to be answering a very simple question I get frequently, which is basically, are narcissists petty? Do they engage in one-upmanship, trying to get one over on you? And throughout the course of you knowing them and the activities you both engage in together, I don't know. I always feel like I'm alone when I'm with a narcissist. That is it common for them to attempt to best you in very minor ways and make a big deal of it? It sounds like a pretty minor question, like it's not that important and doesn't warrant its own video. But as I started to think about it, I was like, well, it's so prevalent and it's so prominent and it can take a few different forms given the narcissist that's doing it, that I think it probably does warrant its own video. I don't know that it's a very deep topic, but there might be more to it than I am aware at the moment. To me, most narcissists, in one way or another, are basically playing the one-upmanship game every day, in every moment. And some do it more than others or differently than others, like it's very readily apparent. Everything is a contest, everything is a competition. And especially with narcissists, this is what always helps me dial it in and really realize that this is a narcissistic person, is they're self-obsessed or egotistical, really, but an egocentric. But it's that the one-upmanship, it's the stuff is so small, it's so small time, it's so inconsequential and unimportant that the only value that you can really derive from it is what you're going to invest in it yourself. What they try to do is get you wrapped up in stuff and make you feel like it's a big deal. And if you feel like you do, or you feel like it is, or you aren't worthy, or you're not doing it well, if that whole thing works, then it is. Remember, it's all about this illusion, what people will believe, and particularly what they can make you feel. And if they make you feel like you're just inadequate in something, I gotta be honest, so minor. I'm trying to even think of examples. You have to understand, with stuff this small, it's not there. It's such an abundance of small stuff that they can get you mixed up with and obsessive over, like them. That's why it's kind of difficult. That, I mean, this stuff is so petty and so unimportant, and for the most part you don't even think of it, that it then becomes such a major issue. You're really forced to trace back, well, why are they so obsessed with this themselves? Why are they so concerned with if they can beat you in a foot race, or they're better in the kitchen, or they're better just at the most minor of things? I can't even think of examples, because even that stuff makes sense. It's such little minute stuff, minute tiny details. And by the way, if you do beat them at stuff, because remember, it's all geared in their favor. It's all made so that there's abundance of stuff. So as soon as something's wrong or you do beat them, well, they have a problem with it. Some of it they're more sensitive about than others, but then they can pull another stupid thing out of their bag of tricks. And that's kind of how it's set up. It's a game that they're going to engineer, they're going to make the rules, and they're going to pull you into it and pull the wool over your eyes. That is an advantage that they are not going to admit to. That's the only way they can interact with others. The game has to be rigged from the outset. That's the only way. You have to do everything on their terms. That's the chief skill of the illusion, is making sure that they remain in their bubble and bring people into or in proximity to that bubble and isolate them from everything else so that it's just the narcissist. The narcissist can't afford to be exposed to all the things that go on in the real world, and so they don't. And that's why you're fussing over petty things like Is the dish towel folded correctly? Is it put into the correct drawer? Is that the same with the checkbook? Are you wearing the right shoes? Are you doing things in such a manner that the most efficient and easiest way to do them, or the most formal, or the most appropriate? It can change from narcissist to narcissist depending what their problems are. Remember that somebody was doing this to them. They aren't necessarily narcissists, but this stuff was, from a very early age, considered a big deal. And they were made to feel very badly if these things were not done correctly. Whatever that's supposed to mean. All of that is so subjective. That doesn't mean that they can't be correct in some of their reasoning. It really follows that a good liar is going to tell the truth some of the time, and then indirectly, passively let you find out that they were telling the truth, because that's going to make the lies all that much more believable on that assumption. Oh, this is a trustworthy person. They weren't lying about this. They couldn't possibly be lying about these other things. That idea is really expanded upon here, where some things might, their advice, their activities, their one-upmanship, some of it might have some kind of slight purpose and a kernel of truth. But from that kernel of truth is extrapolated all this false information, particularly all these deliberate, engineered, designed falsehoods to get you to do something, to get you to believe in something and continue along that path. So yes, is this a prominent feature of narcissists? Yes, it is. It's a very big surface feature. Now, some can do it more subtly, but there's always that little bit like, hey, I'm better than you. I'm better than you at this and that. And by the way, it's easy for me, but you can't even get it right, which makes me so much better. I mean, they really maximize every possible variable, every perception, every relative frame they kind of set up. And you start to believe it too. And they do. They get that. They find the soft spot, the stuff that you are sensitive about. And they become the thing that is enforcing whatever your weakness is. They're going to exploit it. They're going to be the ones who are good at it. And they may not be good at it. They may have a point, but it's very, very unlikely. When you're that divorced from reality, you aren't really good at anything. When you try to avoid every single possible risk, cost, problem, up to, and especially including improving yourself, then you're going to have a lot of issues. You're going to have a lot to compensate for, and they certainly do. So keep that in mind. And this is the beginnings. This is early on. It continues, and depending on how sensitive they're feeling that day for whatever reason, it can be ramped up somewhat. But this is also used as a little probe to see what you'll put up with, to see if they can get you wrapped up in this game and what kind of games you will play and how they need to design and engineer this little artificial environment to control you. I hope you like this video. Like it if you do. Share it with somebody you think might benefit from it. Comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.